right, I'm trying something new on the channel. I recently watched the 2022 film Elvis, starring Austin Butler, and I thought I would review it. I am an Elvis fan. My mother was a huge fan of Elvis and the Beatles, so there was lots of Elvis and Beatles music playing in my house growing up. And I was just shy of 15 years old when Elvis died, so certainly his music and presence was very much a part of my growing up years. I love the old cheesy Elvis movies, stuff back in the 60s, and feel like this movie kind of gave me a better idea of who he was as a person. And so I thought I would share with you, it's not a movie review, I just want to talk about Austin Butler's performance in the movie, because to sum it up, I think he was outstanding. I had heard some things about the movie. I'm not familiar with Baz Luhrmann necessarily. I'll have to look it up and see what other movies he may have produced over the years, but this was a good one. It was very enjoyable, and I hope you will take some time to watch it and then let me know if you agree that it just gives you a better idea of who Elvis the person was, not just Elvis the performer, because I feel like anyone, if you say the name Elvis Presley, they know who that is, they know what he's famous for. Interestingly enough, Austin Butler was born in 1991, almost 14 years to the day after Elvis's death. Elvis died on the 16th of August in 1977, and Austin Butler was born on the 17th of August in 1977. So let's get to it. I'm learning as I go as far as doing reaction videos. I have some other ones lined up for you, but let me pull up some videos and things that I want to share with you and see if we can make this work. So I thought first I would show you, this is just a promotional image from the film. And I do think it captures the essence of the character that Austin Butler presented in this film. That's probably among the most impressive parts of how I responded to the movie and what my takeaways were from it. And I can tell you that there was a lot I didn't know. So I was not aware of how just unscrupulous Colonel Tom Parker was. I don't remember hearing about that. If I did hear about it, again, I don't remember it. I was just a kid. I do think that maybe some of the facts about that came out after Elvis died. And I thought I would share with you too that some of Elvis's earlier influences, I learned this as I was researching for the video today, were singers, gospel singers, rhythm and blues singers. Most that I had heard of, but some new names to me. So I've got some clips I thought I might play for you of, again, Elvis's early influences. My understanding is he was raised in a charismatic Pentecostal church, so a lot of spirit-filled experiences, and I think music was a big part of worship services, and so that was maybe his earliest introduction to music. But the movie makes it clear that he really identified with the black blues and gospel singers of his time. And one of those was, this was a new name to me, Sister Rosetta Tharpe. And here she is. So that guitar, I think, kind of gives you an idea of, why she may have been an influence on him. Another person that was new to me was Jimmie Rodgers.
I'm 1,000 miles away from home, waiting for a train.
So that was a new name to me. But the ones that I'm sure all of you will know that I knew were
Found my thrill.
Fats Domino, B.B. King,
Don't you know? She's a real heartbreaker. Mean man hater. She's a real heartbreaker. Don't you know? No one man ever from mine. She loves us.
again, I can certainly hear the influence listening to some of these. Little Richard is among them.
Everything that Uncle John need, oh baby. Yeah, baby. Ooh, baby.
That's some fun stuff right there. And then I didn't know this. This was new to me, but he was very much a fan of Dean Martin.
Everybody finds somebody someplace.
Listen to that vocal tone.
There's no telling where love may appear.
That totally made sense to me when I learned about it, because I do feel like a lot of Elvis's vocal style and his vibrato was similar to Dean Martin, but I had never heard that. Learned it, again, researching for the video today. And now I'll share with you some clips I've put together from the movie. This is not a movie review. It's just, I just want to focus on Austin Butler's portrayal of Elvis in the movie. And I want to say that kind of the biggest takeaway for me is that I don't feel like Austin Butler was impersonating Elvis or doing an Elvis impression. It really came across as if he was channeling Elvis, as if he was representing him in the film. And that's really impressive to me, because again, he's in the younger group compared to some of us, and I didn't know he was a singer. In fact, I'd never heard of him until I heard about this movie. I mean, I've gone on to look up some of the stuff that he's done. I don't think he has sung in anything before, and my understanding is he was cast in the role because of his audition tape. He did such a great job in that audition tape, and I think you can find that on YouTube, so if you want to look that video up, you can. But as I said early on, I was not aware of just what a sleazebag Colonel Tom Parker was. The movie does teach us that he took at least 50% of Elvis's earnings, period. He kept half of what Elvis made. And then he found ways to take more for other things. I don't know, it was not a pretty picture of him, and I really was disappointed to know that. The movie also shares that he really held Elvis back. He really held him back in a lot of ways, so can't imagine how much more he could have done and how much bigger he could have become without Colonel Tom Parker. And yet at the same time, I don't know that he would have ever gotten his foot in the door or really gotten the start, the chance that he got in the very beginning without him. So catch-22 there. Colonel Tom Parker was such a racist. I love Tom Hanks in movies. I love Tom Hanks, but it's so easy to not like him because of this character that he plays. He's so good at what he does that he's very believable. But I've covered a couple of the things I wanted to cover. Now let me share the little video with some clips that I've put together from the film and kind of talk about it as I go, hoping I can keep my pace because I'll probably have to pause some things here and there. But I hope you enjoy what I've put together, and let me know in the comments. Are you an Elvis fan? Have you seen this movie? What did you think of it? Do you agree with my take on it? And away we go. So, very powerful opening with these visuals and the jewel-toned kind of emblems, because that's what I think of when I think of Elvis. Again, because he passed away when I was, about 15. When I would see and hear him, he was in his rhinestone outfits, bell bottoms, just very decked out, so to speak. So that opening really made sense to me. But it was the singing. It was Austin Butler singing in this movie, and the way he captured the essence of Elvis. I really do think he did a great job. That's what I want to talk about in this movie, because I think that's what sets this movie apart from some other Elvis movies. A lot of great impersonators out there, a lot of great singers that have portrayed Elvis, but I just feel like he really captured something of the spirit of Elvis in the movie, and did an amazing job singing. So let's see how that gets going.
Get a chance to appear on the Louisiana Hayride. We're going to do a song for you we got out on Sun Records.
One of his early performances here.
You got anything else to say, sir?
No, I'm ready.
And cross your fingers that I don't get
Come
copyright
back,
strikes.
baby. I want to play house with you. Come back, baby. Come back, baby. Come back, baby. I want to play house with you.
So one of the fun parts of this movie was being reminded of the over-the-top fanaticism of some of the people that were at his shows. Again, I think it's something that if you say his name anywhere in the world, probably to any age person, that's going to be among the things that they remember, is that women just went wild for him. And partly because he was just a new thing to be reckoned with. I don't know that aside from the, dancing around and the squealing and stuff that some of the singers at the time might have done, some of his moves, he was just a beautiful man. And I don't think this movie exaggerated in the scenes it shares of how the women reacted to his wiggling around. I was reminded again by the movie that for a long time he was nicknamed Elvis the Pelvis, and there was a lot of pressure on him throughout his career. It is touched on in the movie to tone it down and be a family performer, be family friendly and clean and straight-laced. And I'm glad he didn't bow to that. I think he tried. I really think he tried, but I was sad to know how much pressure was put on him to not be Elvis, to not be the Elvis that we all know. This was one of those scenes where he had really been pressured.
You're looking for trouble? You came to the right place. You're looking for trouble? Just look right in my
Just
Listen,
again
I don't need
captured.
you to question me about how I support my family and every person here. You understand me? If you don't like it, you can go back to Memphis. Laugh it up, assholes.
It does kind of progress through him becoming more and more frustrated. There's so much of this, like these scenes, the classic. You see Elvis in a leather jacket.
Ladies and gentlemen, here's Elvis Presley.
And the way he walks, he really captured that. I know the makeup is part of that.
Well, I found a new place to dwell. Was down at the end of Lonely Street.
This is really the Elvis I remember, with the
That's all right now. Anyway you do.
Just great stuff. Now I'm going to pause it here because when I first watched the movie, even when I went back to capture these clips, I didn't realize this last part is still Austin Butler. Again, a lot of that I know is the makeup and prosthetics and, photography and lighting and everything that the professionals know how to do to create illusions and transform, actors and actresses into characters. But this was just amazing. And I have seen a video, like a side-by-side comparison video of the real Elvis and Austin Butler doing this final concert he did before he died. Now my understanding is that Austin Butler really did his own vocals for most of the music in the song. But at some point when Elvis reached an age where it was beyond what Austin's voice could do, that they blended the voices, and there is a layer of Elvis's real voice there along with Austin's. But it's so seamless, and based on how Austin performed and mastered the tone and resonance of Elvis's voice before the later years when he might have had some real Elvis, voice mixed in with it. It just was so believable. He just did such a great job. And so this is toward the end of the film, and it's Austin portraying the older Elvis, maybe the Elvis that a lot of younger people would be more familiar with, just because it was later in his career. But just check out this amazing performance. That's Austin Butler.
My darling, I hungered for your touch alone. I need your love. God speed
I just have to say, I get kind of chill bumps and a little emotional watching that, because I do remember enough to know that I was sad to learn that Elvis had died. I'm not going to say I was as big a fan as my mom, but I could appreciate what he represented in the music world. I loved his movies. I'm a cheesy movie lover anyway, but he just seemed like a guy that, in spite of how huge he was, that if you met him on the street, he would have a conversation with you. I always got that impression if I saw him interviewed, or just the way he talked with the audience when I would see, pieces of concert footage, things like that. And it did make me sad when he passed away. My mother was just beside herself. And I'm sure she represented a lot of people from her generation that, were even bigger fans because they were older enough to really be into the music. I was just a kid. And even watching it now, again, it's a little bit emotional for me. So this last little piece I have to share is just a little composite thing I put together. It is from the movie. As you can see, this is Austin Butler, and it is among the older Elvis parts of the movie. But part of what I wanted to share with you is that in addition to the walk and the sound of the voice and the singing and the personality that Austin projected during the film, he just really captured the mood, the emotion I think, and those are the things in this movie that just made Elvis more of a real person to me. It has a lot of sad parts. He just really was not treated well by Tom Parker. I can't stress that enough. And if some of you already knew that, again, share that in the comments if that's something you were already aware of. But it was really disappointing to me to learn about how he was treated. And it kind of made it make sense that he might have turned to drugs and alcohol and unhealthy food and things to try and distract himself or comfort himself somehow. Not an excuse, but I just feel like I learned a lot. And I know this wasn't supposed to be like a review of the movie, but I don't know that you can talk about why Austin Butler did such a great job without also sort of explaining who Elvis was and why it's so impressive that he captured a lot of that and portrayed it so beautifully on screen. So here's this last little piece I'll share with you that I hope will kind of give you a feel for some of what I saw in the movie that makes me feel like Austin understood Elvis and somehow managed to connect with who he was as a person, not just a performer.
I can think, while I can talk, while I can stand, while I can walk, while I can dream. Oh, please let my dream come true. Right now, let it come true right now.
And that's all of the clips I wanted to share from the movie. Again, I am new to doing reaction videos, so I have no idea what's going to happen when I upload this. I don't know if there are going to be copyright claims. I mean, I'm sure they will. I tried to keep each of the clips very short. So you may or may not be seeing this video, but it's something I thought would be fun to do. And because I am very musically involved and inclined, I think it kind of fits with what I do on the channel. I might have to, come up with maybe an Elvis song I can cover at some point. Don't know what it would be. I think Blue Suede Shoes might be my favorite Elvis song. I don't know that I could pull that off. And I encourage you to see the movie. Check it out. It's on Amazon, streaming on Amazon. It was part of Amazon Prime when I watched it. So if you have an Amazon Prime account, it's free with Amazon Prime. If you don't, I imagine you can pay to watch it. And there are surely other platforms where you can see the movie. But it's worth a watch. It was a great movie. There was no point at which I felt like it was moving too slowly or that part of it wasn't good quality. All of the acting was good. I didn't really like Elvis's parents. I don't know a lot about them, but based on how they were portrayed in the movie, I certainly get the idea that there was some over-attachment there maybe between Elvis and his mom. But I don't know. I may be filtering that through some personal things that I have. Obviously, it's not a bad thing if a man loves his mom, but there kind of got the impression that there could have been something a little bit unhealthy there that contributed to some of the angst that Elvis had to deal with growing up, and then even as an adult and having to, face the challenges he faced with Colonel Tom and just fame. And but the casting was good. The music was fantastic. I'm pleased with the songs that were chosen to be featured in the film, because obviously Elvis has a huge discography, so there's lots of stuff that could have been in the film, but I think these were good choices. Overall, the movie is great. And Austin Butler, I mean, I'm going to be looking up stuff from him. I'm just really impressed with what he did. And just to be a young actor to get this opportunity, I hope this will lead to even bigger and better things for him. So thanks for checking out the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. I hope I'm not going to get copyright strikes for posting it. We'll find out together. And if you have ideas for other things you'd like for me to react to, if there's another movie, again, particularly if it's involved with music or a singer or songwriter, something in the music industry, just because that's part of my background, then let me know. I have some other things that aren't related to that I want to do reactions to, just because as I come across things that are funny or enjoyable to me, I want to find a way to share them with you. So I've already got my next one lined up, I think. I'm just gathering clips and material for it. So, as always, thank you for tuning in, stopping by. If you liked the video, please give it a like. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet, I would so appreciate you joining my little YouTube family by subscribing. Please share the video also if you liked it. And be safe, be happy, be well, be blessed. I love you all, and I will see you in the next video. Bye, friends.